Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Zach. I go by Mr. Pritchard. Today I'd like to talk about overcoming addiction. I've been an addict since the age of 12. I've gotten clean and then relapsed more times than I care to count. So much that I was beginning to believe that there was no hope for me. I am 38 years old and I have now been clean for 3 years and 4 months. This is the longest period of sobriety that I have ever managed to achieve. So about 3 years ago, I started making videos on my journey through the recovery process, and I invite you to subscribe to my channel and go back to that first video that I made in November of 2017. And if you watch through the videos up to, say, today's video, you're really going to see a change in the person that's in front of the camera. I go back and watch these videos myself just to see how far I've come. But let's get into today's video. So today I'm going to talk about overcoming my addiction. I'm not going to get into everything that I was addicted to, but let's just say pretty much everything. I think a lot of people share that same story. I'd like to talk about the 3 things that helped me on my journey out of active addiction, and then talk about the things that have helped me for the last 3.5 years to stay clean. So number 1, and I think this is the most important thing, this is what was most important for me anyways, and that was what was my reason for wanting to get clean. And now I know this seems really obvious, but having that reason is what's going to be, or at least for me, it was my anchor. So if I was having a really tough day, if I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through that day, going back to that anchor, that reason for why I wanted to make a change in my life, was what kind of helped me stay on track. And it's what helped me push through those tough days. So number 2, building a support system, surrounding yourself with people that genuinely care about your well-being. Now, for me, it was family, and I also had joined a NA group, and it was really helpful for me to be around people that knew exactly how I was feeling, or at least had been where I was, and also to see how far when you're looking at somebody that has 30 years sobriety and you're on day 5, that almost seems like an impossible achievement, but it also gives you hope. So I really suggest joining a group, but that's just something that I did for myself. Also, I was fortunate enough that my wife and mother and just family members really wanted to see me do well, and they were willing to do almost anything to help me achieve that. They were also on their last leg. Like if it didn't work this time, they were, at least in my mind, I felt like they were just going to kind of give up. So that was, it's a lot of pressure too, I suppose. But number 3, and now this again is completely optional, but it's something that I really did find helped me, was the first thing I did when I decided, okay, I want to get clean, was I went to my doctor's office and I sat down with my doctor and I said, look, I'm ready to do this. Is there anything you can do to help me? And so she first wrote me a prescription for Suboxone, and so I got on that. And then also she sent me over to the health unit and I got a drug and alcohol counselor. So once I had the drug and alcohol counselor, they gave me some resources and got me set up with a rehab clinic. And so I went to rehab for 3 months. I think 3 months was a good amount of time. I wish I could have stayed even longer, but 3 months was the amount of time that I had funding for, so that's what I did. And they can also bring you, get you into clean living centers and things like that. Now, I know I'm probably leaving a lot of stuff out, but I'm just trying to keep this real simple and I'm trying to keep this quick. So those were the 3 things that when I first decided that I was going to get clean, those were the first 3 steps that I took. So let's talk about what has helped me stay clean for the last 3 years. Number 1, and I think I'm going to have to put this right at the top of the list, and that's having a routine. Having some sort of routine helped me to gauge where I was at mentally, spiritually, and physically on a daily basis. And I think that's really important to always be kind of self-diagnosing, kind of taking an inventory, I suppose, of yourself on a regular basis. So I've noticed that if I started slacking in my routine, I'd kind of feel yucky. And so that would kind of make me pause and take a look at what I've been doing for, say, the past couple of weeks. And if I noticed any negative changes in my routine, I would just adjust and make positive changes. And after a few weeks, I would start feeling good again. And so it was a real good indicator where I was at mentally, spiritually, physically. I'm not a religious person or anything like that, but I do believe that there's, I always use the term soul. Like, I don't feel right about myself, then I have to make an outward change of some sort. I guess it'd be easy for someone to relate that to a religious term. But for me, it was just do positive things, feel positive. Waking up in the morning, having a cup of coffee, going for a jog, cleaning, just creating some sort of routine. And it doesn't even have to be super strict, but just something that kind of is a baseline for your everyday. Getting back to work for me was huge. I'm fortunate to have a job that I love. I was fortunate that when I got back from rehab, there was a job waiting for me. A friend of mine had started a roofing company years back, and I had worked with him. We started the company together, and then I just kind of went off on my own and was doing my own thing, and things didn't work out so well. When I got back from rehab, he was there for me, and he goes out and gets the roofing jobs, and I get the roofs done. And I have a crew that I've been roofing for 17 years, so I know a thing or two about it, and I try to pass that knowledge down to the guys that I work with. And so even that, I guess giving back sort of thing, sharing knowledge was huge, but also having at the end of the day, looking back at the roof and saying, man, I did that, and feeling accomplished and feeling good about myself, and knowing that I worked hard and I pushed through, because sometimes you'll get to a spot on a roof that seems impossible, or how are we going to do this? And you just kind of one foot in front of the other, and you just keep going until it's done. That, I think you could probably apply that to almost anywhere in life as well. Found it really, really helpful for me. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is exercise and how it's helped me in my recovery process and how it still helps me today. Going for walks was so important, and it still is. And after the withdrawals had subsided and I could actually get myself out of bed, the first thing I did was started going for small walks, because it's all I was able to manage. But the feeling of the sun on my face and the fresh air was almost like a type of therapy for me. And as time went on, my walks got longer, and then it progressed into jogging. The better I felt. Walking, running, jogging, stuff like that, it gives you time to sort of think. I found it incredibly helpful. That's all I can say. I actually now, it's part of my routine. I woke up this morning, I did an hour on the treadmill. It's wintertime here, so I don't always go outside for my jogs or runs. Sometimes I will just go on the treadmill, but at least it's that physical activity. I will make a video maybe later about how exercise and recovery really do sort of go hand in hand, or at least it did for me. But today I just wanted to sort of touch on those So today I just kind of wanted to talk about the things that helped me through my recovery and still help me today. And I do hope that this video does help somebody else, maybe help to inspire them. I do believe that everyone deserves to live their best possible life. I feel like I'm doing that now. I have goals, again, things that I'd like to achieve, goals that I've already achieved, and the milestones that I have made. I just really thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day. Cheers.